we have Gifted by Koffee.
There
It
we go.
is an album that is 10 songs, 28 minutes long, almost 29 minutes long. And it has this mix of, I guess, reggae inspiredness, but it takes other different inspirations from other places. Like there's some electronic influences, there's some neo pop and
Lots of
soul influences.
lots of indie influences.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting, eclectic album to say the least. Coffee's, she's a pretty cool artist. Kind of blew up in 18 or 19, I forget when. She's, I believe, from Jamaica, if I recall correctly. So she has a very interesting sound and whatnot, and has a lot of people talking about her because of how unique and she can kind of blend a bunch of genres together and whatnot. And you get that a ton in Gifted for sure. I need to listen to this several more times. So I only got to listen to it twice because it, you know, by
Yeah, no.
values change, times don't. um, basically is what it boils down to. But no, I really want to listen to this even more because there are so many layers to this record where there's so many different sounds, ideas and stuff, ideas that I really want to dive into it even more. It deserves more than even just two listens. Kind of going into it, just jump right in it. Times 10, the first opening track gets you an idea that like there's going to be a lot of interesting sounds in this because you can tell like her voice, everything, has that Jamaican feel to it, but it's also like a indie track, but then it kind of expands into almost like a neo soul pop, into like some Caribbean beats and stuff too. So it's very interesting in the way that it's made, but it's very good. It kind of sets up the album for what you're gonna get. They have like a little interlude song to defend the second track, which is still good, and then you have Shine, the third one, which is like this trap indie song, almost is how I would explain it. And but it's good actually. It's very interesting in the way it's made. Um, and it's something that I if you told me, oh, trap indie, I'm like, I probably would hate it. I'm like, no, I don't want to listen to that. It's actually very good.
Yeah,
I think it's because of the way her voice is and everything on it, and it's yeah.
I could have gone without some of the kind of guitar and like fake trumpet stuff that's like behind it, accentuating it personally. But I feel like it's like one of those we're borrowing from trap instead of like embracing a trap song and making it indie kind of deals.
Yeah.
But
For
like
sure.
it's, in the grand scheme of we want an artist to experiment, they've done that, they check the box. Do they do it well and stick the landing? Kind of okay, but at least they're trying something different. I'll say that's a good track.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think because it's so eclectic, like it's very difficult to stick the landing on something that is very broad. For example, the title track "Gifted," fourth song down, it's really good. I really like that. I like the way she, expands upon a bunch of different sounds that you can hear throughout the record and all a bunch of different influences, and it's a good track. Um, and then like towards like the middle of the record, you have "Lonely Runaway." Tracks I like as well, but then again, it's like because and this is my only issue with it because it's so eclectic. It's kind of hard to be cohesive in that way. Trying to attach the two halves of the record, trying to attach every song to make some type of cohesion of it. That might be my only big complaint is that because within that there are some songs that don't necessarily go well together, and like the placement of some songs don't go well together, like "Lonely Runaway." They're very different and they're mismatched in the way that they're put there, so I'd honestly like to put them somewhere else. And I
Right
think it
there
would
at
flow
that
better.
point, I would swap Lonely and Shine because I feel like the latter half of the album gets to this more upbeat, trappy kind of thing. And like some of my favorite songs, what feels like, okay, she's going into the aspects of Jamaican, like African, like Afro Caribbean music that is now getting into like your hip hop, your ravey kind of things, your electronic music inspired things.
Yep.
Like where I'm from in West Indies do this really well. Um I think probably West Indies is my favorite version of this, but all of those tracks are really kind of popped up and upbeat and really pushing the boundaries of what you would call indie or reggae or whatever like um Coffee is doing. But yeah, I think that happens the second half of the album, and you would could use a better transition between the two. But I like what is there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's pretty much my only complaint is just the cohesion of it and some of the placement of the tracks. I think even making this a little bit longer, maybe putting in another 2 to 3 songs even might make it a bit more cohesive, or you have some different sounds that you can or different tracks, not sounds, that can implement sounds throughout the record into them. I think would have really topped this off even better. But for it
Well,
being very different, I like it. I think it's
I
a
was gonna
very good
say,
effort.
lucky for you, there was a deluxe version of Gifted that is out already, featuring W with Gunna. So
Wait, really? That's hilarious.
yes,
Um,
we, we
oh yeah,
we
there's disc 1 and disc 2. Why'd you have to make that a deluxe edition and not put some of those into the actual album?
I mean, I was going to say overall, I like the 30-minute, like, let's keep it kind of concise deal. I wouldn't have liked to review the deluxe version, I think, especially having that
No,
disc
no,
one, disc two
no.
kind of feel.
Deluxe is too long. Deluxe is too long. To be fair, I don't need 18 songs. I said 12 to 13.
True.
So Gunna's not making the cut.
Gunna don't have the juice.
Gunna definitely don't got the juice. This is a Gunna hate zone, so Gunna haters unite. But overall, I think it's a good effort, and I'm very interested to see what she has going forward. I'm going to listen to that deluxe record now, see now that it is there, see what that disc 2 is, and see if any of those tracks should have made it onto Gifted. Maybe they don't belong there at all, actually. Maybe they're very different, or maybe they're not. We report, you decide.
Absolutely. Arbitrary scale. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface because our review is our review, and we make it hard to compare them all unless you actually listen to the review. So this week it's Games the Buddha. Absolutely would not play under any circumstances. Don't even ask him. And don't tell him. It would be. I'm gonna give this. The old games on boards with 8 or 10 rows, because this is basically just like I'm against checkers, I'm against chess, against any of those strategery kind of games, and Gifted is like the chess of indie right now. There's a lot of different strategies going on. There's a lot of different ways and directions that's going on, but that she is implementing. But Koffee, I feel like she knows what she's doing, and the second album slump is something that's really hard for artists. I think indie artists especially, but at least when you're starting with so many different ideas to begin with, that'll make further projects easier to execute, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is playing with toy windmills made from palm leaves.
Can't do that.
Not allowed.
Buddha had a thing against any toys made from palm leaves. It's, negligence.
Negligence, baby.